Terry McGinnis, the young successor to Batman in the futuristic Gotham, captivated audiences in Batman Beyond. Despite its success and popularity, the series concluded abruptly after 3 seasons with a standard episode, not a grand finale. This left fans wondering why such a dynamic series lacked a proper ending. The show's finale, Unmasked, was more a routine adventure than a conclusive episode. It aired on Cartoon Network months after the rest of the season due to production issues. Bruce Timm, one of the show's creators, revealed that they never received an official cancellation notice, but just stopped production as everyone moved on to other projects. This was the end of Batman Beyond despite its unfinished narrative and the beginning of a new chapter in the DC animated universe with the Justice League. Batman Beyond may have wrapped up its run, but Terry's adventures did not end there in the DC animated universe, crossing paths with other heroes and evolving into an adult. In this video, we will explore the major milestones, the shocking revelations Terry faced post-series, and the reasoning behind the show's cancellation. So buckle up as we retrace the steps of Gotham's futuristic Dark Knight and uncover the untold chapters of Batman Beyond. So stay tuned. But before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you enjoy our content, then please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Now, let's begin. How did Batman Beyond end? Set in 2019, about 2 decades after the classic Batman and Superman animated series, we find an older Bruce Wayne, still donning the Batsuit in his 50s. But he's not the crime-fighting force he once was. Criminals aren't shaking in their boots at the sight of him anymore. During a mission to save a friend's daughter, he suffers a heart attack and, cornered, breaks his cardinal rule by pulling a gun on the bad guys. This mirrors the nightmare of his parents' murder, leaving him feeling defeated and ashamed. Realizing he's not the Batman he used to be, and fearing he might cross a line he can't return from, Bruce hangs up his cape for good. By this time, his trusty butler Alfred had already passed away, and his former crime-fighting allies like Dick Grayson and Barbara Gordon have moved on or fallen out with him. His infamous rogue gallery is also mostly out of the picture, in jail or reformed. Now, jump 20 years into the future, Gotham has become Neo-Gotham, a high-tech city with flying cars and towering skyscrapers. Bruce is now a reclusive 70-year-old living alone in Wayne Manor with his guard dog Ace. That's where we see the entry of Terry McGinnis, a 16-year-old high schooler with a knack for trouble and a strong sense of justice. After a run-in with a gang called the Jokers, Terry ends up at Wayne Manor, where he helps an ailing Bruce fend off the gang. Curiosity leads him to discover the Batcave, revealing Bruce's secret identity. Bruce, however, is none too pleased and shoos the teenager away. In the final episode of Batman Beyond Terry McGinnis, the new Batman finds himself in a tight spot. He's recalling a past incident to his friend Max, emphasizing why keeping his identity secret is crucial. It all started when Terry, during his early days as Batman, had to reveal his face to save a young boy, Miguel Diaz, from a burning building. Terry's still haunted by this decision. He's been keeping a close eye on Miguel ever since, worried that his enemies might use the kid to get to him. His fears seem to come true when Miguel mentions on live TV that he saw Batman's face. This sets off a chain of events with Batman's nemesis Cobra kidnapping Miguel to extract Batman's identity from his memories. Terry, in a race against time, manages to save Miguel from Cobra's clutches. He breathes a sigh of relief when he sees that Miguel's memory of his face is actually a mix-up with his toy soldier Sam's face. Back in the present, Terry, still talking to Max, seems confident that Miguel doesn't remember his real face. But as they walk away, Miguel throws a knowing glance over his shoulder, leaving us wondering what he truly remembers. Batman Beyond meets Amanda Waller in another show to learn about his true history. Justice League Unlimited threw us back into the Batman Beyond universe not once, but twice in 2005. First up in the Once and Future Thing Part 2, we saw Batman, Wonder Woman, and Green Lantern zipping 50 years into the future. There, they teamed up with the future Justice League, including a second Batman, Static, and Warhawk to take down a time-traveling villain. But a real bombshell dropped in what's pretty much the unofficial finale for Batman Beyond. In the episode Epilogue, a massive twist reveals that Bruce Wayne is actually the biological father of Terry McGinnis. 15 years after Batman Beyond, we find Terry in his early 30s digging into his past with Amanda Waller, an old-timer with some serious secrets. Waller spills the beans through flashbacks. Knowing Batman couldn't go on forever, she used her Project Cadmus resources to kickstart Project Batman Beyond. The mission? Craft a new Batman starting with Bruce Wayne's DNA sneakily collected. Waller then targeted the McGinnises, a neo-Gotham couple with a striking resemblance to Bruce's parents. Using nanotech, she altered Warren McGinnis's reproductive material with Bruce's DNA, leading to Terry's birth, a blend of his mom and Bruce's genetics. Waller even tried to replicate Bruce's tragic past for Terry. She hired Andrea Beaumont, aka Phantasm, to off Terry's family when he was 8, hoping it'd set him on the Batman path, but Beaumont couldn't go through with it, arguing it betrayed Bruce's values. Waller eventually scrapped the project, but fate had its own plans. Years later, Terry's dad was killed in a chance meeting with Bruce led Terry to become the new Batman. In the end, Waller reminds Terry that he's Bruce's son, not a clone, and he's free to make his own choices. Embracing this, Terry continues his crime-fighting life, now with a renewed sense of purpose, and plans to propose to his girlfriend Dana. What else had happened? Post-Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis's adventures took some wild turns. He didn't just hang up the Batsuit, he kept being Gotham's guardian well into adulthood, developing an even deeper bond with Bruce Wayne, much like a father and son. His path crossed with Static, both the younger and future versions, thanks to a time travel hiccup. This meeting started rocky but ended in mutual respect. In an action-packed short film, Terry teamed up with Bruce against the android Batman. Terry's stint with the Justice League Unlimited was also interesting. He first joined to uncover a traitor and later as an adult fully embraced his role in the League. His time-traveling escapades brought him face-to-face with a younger Bruce Wayne and other Justice League members, a rare crossover that placed him alongside different eras of heroes. On the personal front, Terry's relationship with Dana Tan evolved significantly. She eventually discovered his secret identity, leading to a deeper commitment from Terry, who planned to propose. Terry's life in comics continued on Earth 12, where he ventured through different storylines and timelines, expanding his story beyond the TV series. In the comics, Bruce and Terry have an epic face-off. In the second volume of Batman Beyond Comics, Terry McGinnis is in hot water with his mom over his Batman duties, eating into his chores time. His mom, playing the strict parent, grounds him for 2 weeks, cutting him off from all his gadgets and his job with Bruce Wayne. Terry's feeling like he's back in prison with his mom as the warden. Bruce Wayne, on hearing about the grounding from Mrs. McGinnis, figures it's just typical teenage stuff. He advises Terry to play it cool and follow his mom's rules until things settle down. That night, while Terry's stewing over his punishment, his little brother, Matt, bugs him with some night vision camera antiques and a dinner call. Terry, annoyed, kicks Matt out, but checks if Bruce is called. Meanwhile, Matt calls Terry out for watching TV, breaking his mom's rule, but then the TV emits a painful high-frequency sound that only Terry can hear. He scrambles to shut it off, realizing something's up with Bruce. Ignoring his mom's grounding, Terry bolts out, ready to suit up as Batman despite her protests. At the same time, Bruce is experiencing some weirdness too. His dog, Ace, growls at the TV and the clock jumps to 2 a.m. Mrs. McGinnis calls Bruce, upset about another argument with Terry, and claims Terry hit Matt before leaving. Bruce, sensing something's off, heads to the Batcave to deactivate the Batsuit, suspecting Terry might be under someone's control. But when he gets to the kill switch, he finds it destroyed by a Batarang and the Batmobile missing. Bruce Wayne's night gets even crazier when he learns from the Batcomputer that the Batmobile has crashed into an oil tanker. Terry, under some kind of spell, is gloating about the mess he's caused, but Bruce, ever the detective, picks up on a weird sub-frequency in the message. A quick analysis reveals that Spellbinder has hijacked the Cowl radio frequency in Terry's suit, bombarding him with subliminal messages. Bruce tracks the source of this mind-meddling to an antenna relay at the KKG TV building and decides it's time for the original Batman to suit up once more. At the antenna relay, both Batmans, Bruce and Terry, mistakenly think the other is under Spellbinder's control, leading to a Bat versus Bat showdown. Despite Terry's youthful vigor, Bruce's experience and strategic smarts are a match. In a tense moment, Bruce uses a nerve gas pellet to free Terry from Spellbinder's control, just in time to save him from a nasty fall. Back at the Batcave, Bruce figures out that Spellbinder's sinister signal was aimed at Batman, regardless of who was wearing the cowl. That's why Terry's brother, Matt, wasn't affected. Bruce updates Terry's suit with new tech to block future mind control attempts and sends Terry off to Spellbinder's real hideout. There, Terry faces off against Spellbinder and his mind-controlled minions, who've been beefed up by a brain-bending technique. Quick thinking and a smoke bomb later, Terry turns the tables on Spellbinder, leaving him in a catatonic state. The next day, Bruce and Mrs. McGinnis reach a compromise over Terry's grounding, extending it to 4 weeks but allowing him to continue working for Bruce. This way, Terry's still in hot water at home for his escapade, but he can keep up his crime-fighting duties as Batman. Why was the show canceled? In 2001, fans of Batman Beyond were left hanging when the show was suddenly canned after 3 successful seasons. From its debut in January 1999 to its abrupt end in December 2001, the series had carved up a unique niche in the Batman saga, portraying an older Bruce Wayne passing the baton to a new, younger Batman, Terry McGinnis. The show wasn't just a hit with fans, it raked in 2 Daytime Emmy Awards in 2001, making its cancellation by the Warner Brothers even more of a head-scratcher. The bigwig said that Warner Brothers never really spilled the beans on why they pulled the plug, but one of the show's writers, Bob Goodman, shed some light on the matter in a 2019 interview with Shaq News. Goodman hinted that the show's ratings weren't quite hitting the high marks expected by execs, especially given the show's darker tone, which was a bit of a gamble for a younger audience. Meanwhile, the creative minds behind Batman Beyond, including producer Bruce Timm and writers Rich Vogel and Stan, were already diving into their next project, the Justice League series on Cartoon Network. This new venture, along with its sequel, Justice League Unlimited, took off, further expanding the DC animated universe. But the story of Batman Beyond might not be over. Bruce Timm, speaking at San Diego Comic-Con 2019, teased the possibility of a revival. He suggested that strong sales of the show's Blu-ray release and a resurgence in buzz could breathe new life into the series. So for fans still holding out hope, the future of Batman Beyond might still have some untold tales left.
Hey!
Marvel's verdict. And that's a wrap on our deep dive into Batman Beyond post-cartoon. From Terry's continued role as the Caped Crusader to his personal growth in the various comic book appearances, his story certainly didn't end with the show. The cancellation, shrouded in mystery, seems rooted in ratings and the show's darker themes, despite its critical acclaim. But Terry's legacy lives on both in the hearts of fans and in various media, proving that Batman really is timeless. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more comic book journeys and behind-the-scenes insights. Until next time, keep your bat signal shining.